Ministry of Education says schools will reopen adhering to 6-foot physical distancing. Details to this story and more in the National Report. Welcome back. With the details to the news for Friday, January 7th, 2022, I am Sherry Ann Noel. The Ministry of Health and the Cabinet of Grenada continue to monitor developments relating to the emergence of the COVID-19 variant Omicron to effectively guide the reopening of schools for the Hillary term. The Ministry of Education says, on the direction of the Ministry of Health and the Cabinet, schools will operate adhering to the 6-foot physical distancing protocol. However, where a school is unable to accommodate all students using the 6-foot distancing, the Ministry of Education has provided guidance to principals for online arrangements. The Ministry of Health and Social Security has also provided updated guidelines to the Ministry of Education for use in schools, and it has confirmed that these were shared with principals this week. The Ministry of Education also met with principals to further discuss the guidelines and protocols and the management of schools during COVID-19. Parents are advised not to send their children to school if they exhibit flu-like symptoms. The Ministry of Health, meanwhile, is encouraging teachers and all students over the age of 12 to get vaccinated to help in the fight against COVID-19 virus and to protect themselves as we stem the learning loss. The Ministry of Education says a further update will be done on Friday, January 14, 2022. Moving along, renovation of the Grenville Magistrate's Court is now 80% complete. A team from the Government Information Service visited the work site on Friday and spoke with contractor Neville Matthews on the progress of the more than $200,000 project, which began on January 1, 2022. It involves repairs to the roof, flooring, electrical and plumbing.
The problem here was the magistrate cannot work comfortably because they have leaks from the roof. It couldn't function. And besides, we got the water with the rain and the leaks, sometimes you get shocked inside the electrical problem. So we're solving all this problem. In terms of the floor? Yeah, some rotten flooring was there, 1 by 6 was rotten. We removed it and replaced new ones. We're doing roof repairs, complete roof. Then we're doing painting, we're doing general plumbing, flooring, we're doing magistrate office, electrical and AC unit.
Because of additional work that must be undertaken at the magistrate's quarters, the completion date has been extended by 1 week.
We started that work New Year's Day, that's our Saturday, and we had promised the magistrate to give us by this coming Monday. But being that we had to go the extra miles, we put it for 1 more week. We did the plumbing, the changing of the toilets, sinks, building vanity, and the electrical, and the extra works, including the AC units.
The renovation of the Grenville Magistrate's Court has created temporary employment for 14 tradesmen. The new board of the Spice Mass Corporation, being led by former Culture Minister Ali Gill, will host its first major consultative activity at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium on Saturday, under the theme Carnival in the Pandemic and Beyond. The all-day brainstorming and review event will include sharing of experiences from regional cultural policy makers and former contributors to Grenada's Carnival. Featured presentations will be made by chairperson of the St. Kitts Carnival Committee, Ms. Shannon Hawley, detailing her island's carnival experience during the pandemic. Another presentation will be made by former Calypso judge, Mr. Elon Robinson, who will give an overview of Caribbean carnivals, the strengthening and positioning of Spice Mass. CEO of the Spice Mass Committee, Kelvin Jacob, says the exercise is meant to find the safest way to host Spice Mass, but it does not mean that Carnival will actually be held.
The main aim of the retreat tomorrow is to bring all our stakeholders together to brainstorm and review events that happened during the pandemic so that we can come up with a plan as to how we can host Spice Mass in 2022. We must have a plan in place. We don't want to be caught off guard. So during the pandemic, in the face of COVID, we're still going to have a plan. And the execution of the plan is what we would have to deal with, taking our cues from the Ministry of Health and the Cabinet.
Jacob says the retreat will seek to put a strategic plan in place for Spice Mass outside of the pandemic, which means that focus will be placed on building the brand. Saturday's exercise will see all stakeholders involved in the process represented and having a voice in the country's main cultural event. Commenting on the hosting of Saturday's retreat, Chairman of the SMC, Arlie Gill, says the pandemic has given Spice Mass an opportunity to show its cultural resilience and creativity and true potential as the best carnival. Gill said with transformational change coupled with inclusiveness and a thorough understanding of the true impact of this unique cultural activity, Spice Mass is poised to be the most envied in the region. The retreat will start at 9:30 a.m. with an official opening ceremony with expected remarks from Culture Minister Honorable Yolan Bain Horsford and conclude at 5:30 p.m. The day's event will be facilitated by the first chairman of the SMC, Mr. Colin Dow. Dr. Mayana Charles will also make a presentation on the COVID situation in the country. This is the National Report. The news will return after the break.
That's it. Tonga. All right, big Morris say moving out. Let's move now. I took my best shot to keep Grenada moving. Driver, let's move.
A message from the Ministry of Health.
Welcome back. The Spice Island Billfish Tournament Committee has been granted approval by the Ministry of Health to stage the 52nd annual event in 2022. The tournament was launched at the Grenada Yacht Club on Thursday. The fully vaccinated event will commence on January 25th and conclude on the 29th. Local and international individuals must be fully vaccinated to participate in the event, and measures are in place to ensure the event is executed in a safe manner. Former Chairman Richard McIntyre spoke at the launch.
We are going forward and we are certain to enforce the entire premises that have been a portion allotted to the yacht club and the portion allotted to us, which is below the road, is going to be an entirely bubble area where vaccination certificates, where testing is going to be done to ensure that those who come to Grenada are totally vaccinated and with the requisite PCR requirements. And sad to say, the odd ones of our contingent locally who are unable to participate won't be able to do so, because that is the level to which we are prepared to enforce our tournament here. Even if it's a local person, they're not allowed to participate unless they are fully vaccinated.
Naomi Diali, Managing Director of Republic Bank, says that they are committed to being the title sponsor for the major event.
This tournament is among the best in the region, and as one of the region's leading financial institutions, Republic Bank stands ready to support your efforts to offer not just leisure to some of the region's finest anglers and game fishing enthusiasts, but a much-needed economic boost to our island. We have followed the tournament and over its 50 years legacy, and we welcome yet another opportunity to be a sponsor to this prestigious event.
And finally in the news, a 12-member contingent led by Senior Cultural Officer Adrian Mark will depart the state on Monday, January 10th, for an 8-day stay at Expo 2020 Village in Dubai. While there, the local team will showcase a number of cultural pieces, which will include 5 main performances, subsectioned on various days. Thomas Matthew, Chief Cultural Officer in the Ministry of Sports, Culture and the Arts, during a dress rehearsal session at the Trade Center on Thursday evening, gave the GIS an insight as to what the cultural packages will entail.
There is a national day where we have speeches and represent delegates, official delegates will be participating in that. So I'm not sure who will speak, but we have a small performance to give them a feel of Grenada. That would be about 5-10 minutes. And then on another day, there's a parade where they feature the country. So we have costumes like ballet, shotney, and some other paraphernalia, along with our national flags. And that parade is about on a route of about 2.5 miles. So right around the entire, almost the entire main performing area or the expo area, that parade will take place. It's about an hour and a half long. So we'll be displaying on that. We'll have things like Shotney, Bel Air, and so that's one of the performances. And then we've organized to have, there are various stages at the expo, which are central locations where people gather quite a bit. And we have performances, 20-minute performances, half-an-hour performances that we've packaged together.
One of the cultural packages will be 20 minutes long with the inclusion of music, dance and poetry.
Featuring our two main lead singers, which would be Dash and Tamara St. Bernard. They are backed by our band itself. And then we'd have a group of dancers who would perform things like ballet and give you an illustration of some of our traditional dances. So we'll feature Shotney, ballet, Veko, and Jab Jab for that day. And then we have other performances on other days that we feature artists. So we feature one performance, we feature Tamara and her suite of songs, Grenada based. And her own compositions along with Dash. As we all know, Dash has mainly local compositions. So we've organized various sections or various packages to present at various platforms in Dubai.
When does the team leave and how many people will be going and the duration of this day at
Okay.
Dubai?
The team leaves on Monday, which would be the 10th. They should arrive in Dubai on the 11th. And they have an 8-day stay at the Expo Village. And during that 8 days, they will perform and make presentations. So we expect them to return by the 21st of January. So it's a short stay, but the team numbers 12 persons, led by our senior cultural officer. He's the manager of the contingent. So there are 12 persons going to Dubai for that particular performance. Okay, good.
Culture Minister Honorable Yolan Bain Hosford was present at the dress rehearsal. She told the GIS that the exposure that the government has created for young talent on an international stage will undoubtedly be a wonderful experience for them.
They get an opportunity to look at other things that are happening around the world, the different pavilions that would have the different cultural displays, the different things that will be happening. It will be a great experience for them. And I'm happy that we have chosen quite a good team, quite a versatile team that can probably blend into anything with a lot of knowledge and culture. And so they would learn a lot more and they would be able to come back to Grenada and probably, share some of the performances and some of the strategies that they would have learned in Dubai. I think it's a great experience. It's a wonderful experience for them. They're young and they're intelligent and brilliant and they want to explore more about culture. And it's a good opportunity for them to get that kind of exposure at that level.
Honorable Bain Hosford also believes that presenting Grenada on the world stage during the Dubai 2020 Expo will be a plus for the country, as many of the islands in the region do not have a display at the Expo.
That's wonderful news. I mean, a lot of countries have not been able to participate, and Grenada is at the peak there participating. And we have, a small island in the Caribbean, 100,000 persons, a population is small. It's like a dot in the ocean for some islands, and so it's really wonderful. It's a privilege, it's a pleasure for Grenada to be participating in such a worldwide extravaganza.
And with that story, we come to the end of the National Report for Friday, January 7th, 2022. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Sharian Noel, thanking you for viewing.